Hello guys, this is Thorn here, this is the Daily Grind, this is DC Legends. I welcome you to like the video, leave a comment if you have any suggestion on how to improve this channel for your viewing. Now, there have been recent reworks that are reworks of reworks, Black Adam and Captain Marvel. I'm going to focus on Black Adam. I now have him at Gear 10. This is the Node 5 of the Mystical Archive event for farming materials, and I just want to show you how cool the new rework of Black Adam is. I had recently made a video about Black Adam and I was already happy with the results, but now that they switched his gear set from special support, let me lower the volume a bit, and is now a special damage striker. He's become a workhouse. Let me play this on auto. He can now solo at gear 10. Well, he was able to from gear 9, but now it's even easier to farm materials, at least for the Mystical Archive, with his new skill set. Nothing was changed a lot. They added a new passive where he gets critical ops every time he kills an enemy. I don't have him maxed out, and my wife is watching Netflix and having a laugh. Fuck her. But this is way too cool. So I have decided to bring Black Adam up to gear 11 today, just because he is eligible for the Firestorm event that is going to go down next week. No, like in 3 weeks. Seriously, fuck her. Just way too much. And Black Adam has showed up. We're gonna go to the character select screen. He has showed up in power real high, because for a legendary 3 gear 11 character to be at almost 6,000 power is really amazing. He can seriously put the harm on reds now. Greens, he's just gonna eat for breakfast. And I don't have Captain Marvel. And I didn't farm him to legendary on purpose, because back then he already had a heroic challenge event. Back then, Marvel wasn't a very good character. He was interesting, but the meta didn't allow for a tank, and I'm kind of regretting now, because his new kit looks really amazing. So I'm gonna get him to legendary on his PvP week, just because to have him. But I think this is going to be the upgrade to get his number 242 of Atlas. But everything looks good, and I'm kind of regretting not bringing him to legendary 3 at least, because he could have used the upgrades. But that just goes to show another criticism of this game is that they never tell us anything about the game proper. There's no way to plan ahead. Since he had a pretty mediocre rework originally, and this is one of the original hard paywalls characters. He was only available originally through a stupid sale of $100 for 100 shards. and that was for real money, not even gold. That was hard cash to get Captain Marvel, and he was pretty lackluster originally. Then they gave us his heroic challenge, and he became a bit more interesting. It's not a bad character, but he was definitely lacking in everything. He couldn't tank well. He didn't get a lot of speed, so you couldn't taunt if you were planning on using him as a taunter. And after Wonder Girl Cassie came out, him getting a ton of stamina ups through his taunt was just inviting to be eaten up alive. And of course, he has always been vulnerable to buff immunity because he couldn't purge himself. So you relied on someone else to give him the buff immunity or something like that. So now he looks mighty interesting. So I would rather keep this original look, and I'm not going to spend 1,000 gems just to keep him like this. He's always going to be Captain Marvel to me. I refuse to call him Shazam. So there's that. And well, since we still don't know, we can only infer that Black Adam is going to get a heroic challenge because Captain Marvel already had his. But again, they are not telling us anything. So with the upcoming PvP weeks for both of them, I'm gonna get Black Adam to Legendary 4 and him, Captain Marvel, at least to Legendary 1. And I'm really interested in Captain Marvel Jr. His kid looks interesting, but that we shall see in his coming monthly event. And as you already know, I don't spend money in this game, mostly because I never intended to be playing this thing for 2 years straight, and we are about to reach its third year. This is already 2.5 years old. This is a very old game now. So I will have to wait until the siege is finished. This time I'm going to fight seriously because I couldn't care less for Ra's al Ghul, and I was placed at 200 and something before I stopped playing for a whole week because I was well, I don't have the drive to farm hard anymore, but I might do it for Mary Marvel because her kid looks interesting too, and that would be for Marvel family members. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get Sivana instead of any of these two, but that's okay. Anyways, so there's that. This is something that I hope gets fixed in the future, um, because it will benefit new players. This is a criticism that I have been making for at least half a year now. I sincerely believe that shards, if they are not going to improve our ways of getting materials and essence, be it green or purple essence, I think they seriously need to improve the shard income, especially now that rebirth is a thing. Because, for example, I'm going to show you real quick. Here's the Joker. Ah, good God, this game, I really hate it sometimes. I think the Joker is this way. Yes, the Clown Prince of Crime. Um, Another of the hard paywalls, you couldn't get him originally in any way, shape, or form unless you spent real, real money for him. When the game launched, he was part of a package where you got Joker and Mad Jester shards for a rather cheap amount of money, but we didn't know if the characters work or not. So I believe pretty much the only person that actually played with the Joker in his original incarnation is Fanatic Jalapeno. And the rework for Joker changed his paradigm and his role in the game very, very drastically. And he's now not useless, but he is not really viable outside of PvE. And there are better options if you want to have the Joker in your gaming party. So here's the thing. He already had a heroic challenge, and I brought him from 0 to Legendary 3 through that heroic challenge. These 122 shards that you see here are from the current event, but now there is Rebirth. And the special heroic challenge was okay with the old paradigm where Legendary 5 was the highest you could take a character, because now for free I will be able to bring Joker to Legendary 5 for free, so to speak. But now the heroic challenges are so difficult because they have a limited list of characters available to tackle them. They are difficult enough that it's not a guarantee that you're going to get 550 shards if you finish both versions of the special heroic challenge. So here's the thing. If I finish all the nodes, I will bring Joker to Legendary 5, but then I have no way of getting his shards outside of sales to bring him to Rebirth. I have seen this argument put forward that Rebirth is a thing, it's a work in progress, and that is something to look forward to. I agree with that part, but how would it work against the player to have enough shards available to bring any character he likes to Rebirth without taking viability into consideration? Let's suppose I'm a Joker fan and I want to have him Rebirth 5. There is no way in hell for me to do that, especially if I were a new player. If I am a new player, be it that I spend money or I'm a truly free player, but I'm a new player, a complete newbie, that let's say has started 3 months ago, how in hell do they expect me as a new player to have this list of characters where there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to count Clayface because he had a heroic challenge last week. 7, 8, 9 characters out of the eligible roster are hard paywalls, and they have always been. Even though this Batman has had events and was on the PvP rewards, it's been 7 months since he was available through the PvP pack. So a new player that started 5 months ago or 4 months ago or just started playing just doesn't have access to World's Greatest Detective. Red Robin has had PvP weeks, sales, and a what do they call them? This special PvP showdown. He had a showdown several months ago. I think it was over a year. That's how I was able to bring him. He was originally hard paywall. You could only get him through his 2 PvP weeks. But he is not available anymore. Superman is one of the perennial hard paywalls. You could have Clayface, arguably, because he has had a heroic challenge, but he is not truly viable in PvP anymore. So if people heeded the recommendations from the community, they didn't really spend money or gold to have Clayface. So Clayface is out. So you have Batman, Cape Crusader, maybe, to a legendary level, at least legendary 1. Maybe you have Black Lightning, if you have been playing for less than 5 months. Maybe you went ham on the showdown for Batgirl and have her higher than legendary 1. And less than 5 months, well, of course you have Satana. So you only have these guys as a new player to tackle this event. And of course, the legendary side of the event only allows you to use characters at legendary 1 or above. They have been giving away Satana shards, so maybe new players have at least a legendary 1 Satana. But out of the eligible list, this is not precisely one of the most well-tuned compositions in the game. So how do they expect? And the non-legendary side of the event is just a bit easier, but you have to have characters at least gear 9. And anyways, you won't be able to tackle the whole event if your composition is not custom tailored to that event. So how do they expect people to get 550 shards, which even if I had a legendary Joker, a legendary 5 Joker, I will just be able to bring him to legendary 6, which is Rebirth 1, and that will be it. So then I have to wait until I don't know when they bring back a heroic challenge, or I have to spend money to get the shards, so I won't be able to compete. And supposing that I did have, as a free player, enough characters built up to finish the whole event, I will only be able to bring Joker from 0 to legendary 3, but that's the best case scenario. It's just not attainable, it's not accessible, and quite frankly, for people like me who already have high legendary characters, Joker is just not viable, it's not attractive, and this is not conductive to build up a roster. So where is the appeal for me as a player to farm his shards? And just excuse me a bit, I'm going to go back to farming with Black Adam. So there's that. Now that they are asking for quality of life improvements, I will say again, I will insist again on making a decision for players. Either make shards abundantly available, because as a player it's a better return of investment to farm for purple essence and for green essence to bring my characters, if I'm chasing the meta, to buy gold for the sales of the characters I actually want, instead of offerings like Joker that is just pretty much meaningless. It's not attractive. these game modes are not attractive for any player. Why would a new player invest real money to bring up his characters up to speed for an event that is going to reward them with shards of a character that is not viable in any of the game modes outside of collecting? Rebirth is not ever going to be a thing if they keep the shards away from us. So make a decision, developers. Either you make the rewards more abundant, so it's actually attractive to have shards for characters that we are never going to use, but just to have them, or keep the rewards as stingy as they are, make us spend, as we have to spend right now, 5,000 or 6,000 gold to fully gear a character, but make the shards available in spades. Rebirth 1 takes 410 shards. If you are farming the commons in the heroic nodes, that's around 3 months of farming daily in nodes that don't pay back enough money to actually build up your character. And that's for the guys who have at least 4 nodes. Black Adam has taken over 2 years of farming and hitting 140 shards on the PvP weeks he's had, and buying from the Alliance store that now they have removed him. He's no longer available through the Alliance store. It has taken almost 3 years of farming continually to get Black Adam shards and hitting his PvP weeks just to get him to Legendary 4. So that's how long it's going to take me to bring him to Rebirth 2 if I ever decide to. Even if they never make because they have given a reward for Rebirth tokens through the raids in the past raid event. That was cool, but that is not nearly enough. I'm gonna make the bet with you that 6 months from now, you're going to have at least 30 Rebirth tokens. But you are not going to be able, if they don't change the way that shards are awarded, but you're not going to have enough shards as a player to rebirth any of your characters. I mean, I've taken Bane to Rebirth 1, but that's been like 4 months after I brought him to Legendary 5. And that's just because he's one of the common PvP rewards. So that's 4 months just to bring one character to Rebirth 1. To get enough shards, not the Rebirth tokens. And I have Lex Luthor's survival suit. The only other character I can rebirth right now is Cyborg, and another candidate, because he's going to have, I think, a PvP weekend challenge or something, is maybe Robin, Damian Wayne, which would be nice to have as a rebirth character. But every other character, like, there is only going to be one guy from the whole server is going to be able to bring Mary Marvel to Rebirth 1. Just one guy. The rest that may take Mary Marvel to Rebirth 1 next month are going to be people who farm the siege in top 50 and they are going to have to buy a couple $100 worth of her package. So that's borderline extortion to me. That's just too much. I'm okay with free players not having access immediately to a rework character, and to me in this game immediately would be like in 3 months would be immediate. But we are talking that it's going to take well over a year or several $100 just to bring one character to Rebirth 1. And the guys, the new players that started a year ago to now, they just don't have even Legendary 5 characters. They don't even have the shards. I mean, even farming, because I see this brought up repeatedly, that people want them to change the reward for red alerts because they have been the same for a long time. Well, you know what? It took me a year of farming red alerts to bring Captain Cold from Legendary 2 to Legendary 5. It's going to take at least 6 months to bring him to Rebirth 1. And Captain Cold is just not viable. Not currently. He's a nice tool. He's very fun to use. He has his uses, but he's just not viable. You are just not going to see Captain Cold used on PvP, especially after Wonder Girl launch. So that's a problem. So where's the incentive for me? I'm a fan of the character. I'm one of the most staunch defenders of his kit because it's a really fun kit to use where you have to think strategically, not just go ham and try to finish the fight in one round. No, you want to drag the fight with Captain Cold in a heavy control composition. But that's just not viable anymore. It's simply impossible to make a team with Captain Cold that works beyond top 1500 on PvP. It's just too hard. So variety is dead in this game at high PvP, and people keep arguing that they shouldn't be forced because they see getting to max level, to max gear, to max legendary, they see it like something that is bad, and that's just going contrary to pretty much every game. And it's only a benefit for the players who choose to stay low level and low gear because it's cheaper. Very obviously, it's cheaper to keep a roster at gear 9 than it is to say, well, I really like this composition, I'm going to level up and gear the fuck out of these characters to bring them to max level. You are only able to stay at low gear because, at least for PvP, it pays better to stay low gear because you get more points. This is just contrary to every other game out there and to every game logic out there. And that's another of the reasons this game has become so stale. And you just cannot deny this to me. You can lie to yourself, but you cannot deny this to me. If gearing up, if having high legendary and high level and high gear characters was desirable and was encouraged by the game, where it actually was more useful to a player to level up like in any other game, we wouldn't have so many threads asking about how do I defeat this composition? Why do I keep getting so many high-powered teams in my PvP queue? That's because you have chosen to stay very low and you hit your ceiling very fast. So we have a lot of problems in this game that would be solved if the devs decided to choose a path. And I really feel that outside of the rebalance of the whole game, because we have to get rid of the round zero one-shots, they have to make rewards more abundant. Back when top level was 70, the rewards are okay because they allow you to bring 2 characters per month to level 70 and gear 11. That's okay, that was cool. But that was before Rebirth. That was before the sieges, where now you have to level up characters if you want to do well, at least in Siege. And I see many people complaining about that Siege is too difficult. Well, let me tell you what, Siege is what PvP should be like. The normal raid arena should be like that. Do you want to do well, you will have to get your characters to gear 11, because it's not impossible. But we are now at the point where there are so many characters and you have so many choices for the events and whatnot, that leveling up shouldn't be exclusive anymore. So I would propose to the devs to make it so that the rewards for the normal grinding would allow you to bring at least 4 characters per month for free to gear 11 and level 70. And that will be just enough to again bring 2 characters to level 80 and gear 11 and max out their skills. Every month you are able to do that now with 2 characters to level 70 and gear 11, maxed out the skills in a month for free. So if you want more than that, then you have to spend money, because there is no other way. And I'm okay with that too. Doing more than you can do for free should cost you money. I don't agree with the prices in this game, but the mechanic is valid. Like, there's that. So I'm going to close the video here because I'm going to keep farming and I don't want to bore you with more Black Adam action. But think about it. Now that they are asking for quality of life improvements, well, besides the very obvious that they have to fix this thing where the game balloons up to over 5 gigabytes if you are not careful. If you just keep playing, this game is going to eat up all of your storage. That's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The more you play, the faster you fill up your storage in your device. So that's the big one. That's the big one that you have to fix. And then to increase the rewards that are given. So you have more money in-game, more in-game money to level up the characters. And then another quality of life improvement that they should implement is just changing the way Wraith Arena awards the points. Because it should have siege rules. Like you get 369 points from 1, 2, and 3 stars, and then get bonuses for certain characters. That would encourage people to gear up characters outside of the comfort zone and would make PvP way more fun, at least until you get to the top echelon. So with that, I wave to you all goodbye. Thank you for watching my videos and for subscribing to my channel. See you next time, and in the meantime, keep grinding on.